All right, well, let's see what to do when we have a trinomial and it has a number in front of the x squared and it's not factorable through a GCF. So there are actually two methods. Method one is called guess and check. And that sounds like very haphazard, but we can be very organized with our guessing. And as long as we check, this method does work. Sometimes though, there's a lot of guesses to do. So it's generally best when a is a prime number. So the number in front of x squared is only divisible by 1 in itself, because then we have a limited number of things to check. You do need to be systematic about this, right? So we don't do a ton of erasing. The whole idea of guess and check is to show your work, guess something, check it, see if it works, and if it doesn't, then try something else, but don't erase everything you've tried already. So let's try it. So what we know, if we're going to undo FOIL, let's just first write parentheses, right? Factor means typically write with parentheses. We should still check if there's a GCF, but no, nothing divides 5, 7, and 2. There's no variables that all three terms have. So we need to figure out some way to multiply to 5y squared from the first two, right? That FOIL. So that's, because 5 is prime, there's only one option. I know it's 5y times y to make 5y squared. All right, on the other side, if I'm multiplying to plus 2, the only way to do that is, well, plus 1 and plus 2. I guess I could do minus 1 and minus 2, but that wouldn't add to a positive 7. So we have to multiply to the 5y squared, we have to multiply to the positive 2, but now we got to check the middle. So we're going to check with FOIL, or if you prefer box method, totally do box method. So let's do the FOIL or box method. We get 5y squared, 5y times 2 is plus 10y, 1 times y is plus 1y, and 1 times 2 is plus 2. Now, we knew we were going to get the 5y squared and the plus 2, right? We designed it that way. We're checking to see if the middle adds to 7. It does not. This is 11y. So 5y squared plus 11y plus 2 does not work. Sad face. Now, because both 5 and 2 are prime, we don't have a whole lot of other ways we could write this. The only other rearrangement we could do is flip where I put the 1 and the 2. So I'm going to try 5y plus 2 and y plus 1. So it still multiplies to 5y squared, still multiplies to 2. Let's see if this one works. All right, so 5y times y is 5y squared. 5y times 1 is plus 5y. 2 times y is plus 2y. 2 times 1 is plus 2. So now if we look at these middle two, they definitely add to 7y. We get 5y squared plus 7y plus 2 checks out. So that means the correct answer is 5y plus 2 times y plus 1. That is the correct factoring of this original problem. So that's guess and check. You need to show your check, right, if you're doing this method. Let's try one more and then we'll learn the second method for what to do if there's a lot of numbers that multiply to what's here. So this is another one where both the 3 and the 7 are prime. So there's very few options here. So let's see what we can do. To multiply to 3x squared, we can do 3x and 1x. To multiply to 7, well, I guess I can do 7 and 1, right? 7 and 1. All right, there's my guess. Let's do the check. So we're multiplying 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 1 is plus 3x. 7 times x is plus 7x. 7 times 1 is plus 7. Now we're supposed to get a middle of negative 22, right? Now, I designed it so I'd get the 3x squared and the 7. We knew that those would work. That's definitely not negative 22. It's not even negative. So I got some, part of checking is thinking about, well, what do I need to do to fix this? And one thing I need to do is make my numbers negative, right? I shouldn't have plus and plus. It should be a negative times a negative to make this positive. So let's just write that. We need to switch to negative numbers. But also I need to flip where the 1 and the 7 are, right? So there's a couple changes we're making. But that's part of guess and check, is thinking about how to improve our guess. So now it's 3x minus 1 and x minus 7. So I flipped where the 1 and 7 are. I made them both negative. Let's check. We know we're going to get that 3x squared. 3x times negative 7 is negative 21x. Negative 1 times x is minus 1x. Negative 1 times negative 7 is plus 7. And it's looking like we got what we were supposed to get from the original problem. 3x squared minus 22x plus 7. So the correct answer is 3x minus 1, x minus 7.